Making the lab profile work for you. In market research, context matters. Introduction to the lab profile. The lab profile is an interview which gets people to reveal how their brain operates in different contexts. It was created in the late 70s by Roger Bailey. Yeah, that's my photo over there. Who at the time was working as a senior programmer analyst at IBM. Roger had a BS in social science based in anthropology from Fordham in 72 and an MS in social science from the University of Bridgeport in 77. What is the lab profile? The language and behavior lab profile is an interview which gets those responding to reveal, unbeknownst to them, how their brain operates. The significance of context. One of the most important concepts of the lab profile is that everything changes by context. For instance, if I ask you what is important for you about your job, you will answer that differently from how you answer about your car. And you will answer that differently from how you answer about your vacation. And for instance, a person's responses will tell us if the person is toward or away from with respect to those different contexts like job, car, vacation. And toward and away from are only 2 of 54 possible linguistic pattern sets, which are clues about how a person's brain operates across the 17 categories of possible responses recognized by the lab profile. Flexibility of the lab profile. A manager might want to determine a person's lab patterns in the context of work. A market research professional might want to determine a person's lab patterns in the context of vacation or car or seafood restaurant or some other situation. The lab profile is very precise as a market research tool because it can be adapted to understanding consumer attitudes and behavior in any kind of context. Contextual examples. A simple example of how a person's lab patterns change from one context to another is that the person might be toward with respect to one kind of vacation or restaurant and away from with respect to another kind of vacation or restaurant. Toward and away from are 2 lab profile patterns in the lab category of motivation direction, and the lab profile has 54 patterns across 17 categories. So the lab profile is a rich resource of precise information about how people respond to any given context. Application in market research. When you perform market research with a lab profile, you will find that for some of those lab categories, your context does not yield any coherent pattern sets. Yet for other categories, your target market has very precise tendencies in one of the lab patterns. This gives you a targeted, precise set of words and phrases you can use to boost positive response to your marketing approach. Case study. In 2009, the lab profile was used by the United Kingdom Family Resources Survey. This is a major face-to-face central government annual doorstep survey. They found that the techniques of the lab profile increased the quality and quantity of completed surveys that year because of basic lab profile interviewing skills. Challenges and limitations. When using a lab profile as a market research tool, you need to learn the precise questions to be asked so that the interviewer's own inherent lab patterns do not interfere with the results of the survey. Conclusion. It is important to reiterate that understanding context is crucial to utilizing the lab profile effectively in market research.